Scrappy people, day 21 of December daily, and today I'm kind of switching my stories around a little bit. This actually happened after some of the stories I'm going to tell after this, but the way that the pages flowed together, it worked really well to just put it on the back of yesterday's pocket page. So this is a story of, oh my god, it is so cold outside, what the heck. As told through my dogs. I think I'm going to pair it. So I have this printed out too that is not the same story. But I think I'm going to pair these two together because dogs, cats, and I wanted to tell the story of these cats will not leave this tree alone all winter long. So I'm going to pair them together. I think there's going to be like a 6x8 layout behind here. And then this pocket page layout. So I have the Citrus Twist Kits Winter Magic Collection foundation pages that I made on day 7 of my stress-free December Daily Prep series. So I have some different cards paired together and these funny photos of my animals and my husband. And then a screenshot of the weather too. So you can see Libby here all wrapped up in a blanket and Abby wrapped up in the same blanket looking at me like, what the heck, Mom? I was born in California. Why is it so cold? And then my husband and my dog wrestling. She likes to snuggle in any way that she can. So I thought that that fit the story as well. So I designed all of this as part of that series. So this side will come together fairly quickly. And then this was also on as part of that video too, so it's already done. Now the other side, you know I hate looking at the back side of things, but there's not much I can do about this without ruining the transparency from this direction, which I might end up doing because I really hate the back of things. And if I put a paper behind here, I don't think it's gonna mess up the shaker pocketiness of it. So this side of the page is also about animals, but about my cats and the Christmas tree. So I'm just going to combine it all into one December Daily 21 story about the animals and call it good. I'm not even sure what I'm going to do on this side yet, but we'll figure it out as we go along. I'm going to start with the easy side first. So let's get started. Okay, so this side was definitely, easy to put together, I should say. I already had it done because of all of these foundation pages that I had already done, which is the whole point of foundation pages, which is awesome. I just have to put in the photos, and remember I put plastic behind this cardstock frame so that it wouldn't stick to the card, but I found that even though I had put plastic behind there, it wasn't quite enough plastic, so I did have to peel it off a little bit, and I got lucky. It did not ruin the card. So I'm just going to stick this photo right back here, and then I'm going to stick the whole thing down, and it's self-sealing. Hooray! So that card is basically done. I'm going to do the same thing with this card, except I did find that, I don't know, I guess I got the dimensions wrong on my photo, so they just didn't quite fit in there right. So I decided instead of putting it behind the frame, I would just put it on top of the frame and not fight with it. It wasn't that big of a deal, not a big enough of a deal for me to reprint that photo. And then now we have to work on the only part of this that basically wasn't already done for me, and that is this flip up pocket. So I had one of those Simple Stories plastic page flip up thingies in my foundation page, but I decided not to use them because they don't flip up very well. I don't really like them, only because like if you were going to use it like in the middle of a page and it could adhere to something above the pocket, then okay, that would work. But I tried to add a crease to the plastic and it just did not want to like wrap around, and so I decided to just go with a cardstock hinge. Old Faithful works really well. Why change it if it ain't broken, right? So I'm just using the scraps and this card that I have left over from using this kit so much this month. I decided to go with this beautiful soft blue plaid. I wanted to go like really light and airy with this side of the page because I just thought it was just so soft and subtle to begin with, so I wanted to keep it in that vein. Add a little place for a note. I'm not really gonna journal too much on here, so I wanted just like a little place for a caption. And then I'm going to add some stamping to the side of this card that says WTF, because holy crap, what the heck. Now, I think that if it's going to be this cold, it better freaking snow, and it did not. It was cold and dry and sunny, and so it just, like, the outside when you looked at it just lied. It was not cool. So I thought the WTF caption was perfect for my thoughts on how cold it was. And then I have these hearts from my Citrus Twist stash that I'm just going to use because I like the black and white with the black and white blanket. And so that is, I think that's it for this side. And we're going to move over to the other side, and I'm going to start by backing that Hello Winter. I wanted to get it so that I could get like the Stay Warm above Hello Winter, but I just couldn't quite make it fit right. So it gets close enough. And I'm using my tape runner to adhere my card directly to behind where the letters are so that you can't see any of that adhesive. And then I found that paper that has all the numbers on it, so I decided to use a 1-inch circle punch and cut out the 21 for my number for the day. And I'm going to back it in a darker scrap piece of paper because I felt like it was disappearing down there, and that scrap piece of paper matches the hello backing perfectly. So I'm going to just create a circle with a 1.5-inch hole punch or circle punch, and there. And now I'm going to put it on top of the trees, and it's super cute the way that it turns out. I'm using my red line tape because I finally restocked my red line tape, and that will help it stick to the plastic a little bit better. There we go. All right, now we can move on. So I used the tree paper on the other side, and it's actually the same tree paper that is printed on transparency in the pockets itself. So I liked the consistency of that, even though it's not really like something that you notice too quickly, but if you look at it long enough, you'll notice. And then I decided to just double down on the cussing and go, OMG, get the blank out of the tree with just some random punctuation, because that was the story I decided I wanted to tell on this side, with how the cats were just being typical cats and would not leave the tree alone this year. I don't remember them doing this last year, but holy crap, they were crazy this year. They liked all of the fake snow that I had flocked the tree with, and they would pull it out of the tree and the dog would run with it, and it was just chaos. So I have this cut file that is the trees from Citrus Twist, designed by Ashley Horton, and I decided I was going to watercolor it with some Catherine Pooler inks. So I pulled out this blue, I think it's Dress Blues, and I'm going to water it down, and then I'm just going to drag my trees through it. And actually both sides of this cut file come out pretty well. I couldn't decide which side I wanted to use first. One side was just a little bit more, a little bit deeper color than the other side, and that was the one that I decided to use because when it dried fully, it like definitely faded a bit. So I'm glad that I used that side because it's more subtle than it looked when it was wet. But look how pretty that came out. Ugh. So I decided to wrap up this. I was letting the trees dry, and I decided to wrap up this photo in this twine. I wanted, again, to stay on the light side with this page, but then I decided to just abandon the frosty colors because it didn't really like make much sense for this page particularly. So I decided to go with some blue cardstock from my stash. And you can see me contemplating leaving this on white here, but no, it's going to go directly on the blue. And I'm going to actually trim this down. I initially cut it so that it was 8.5 by 7 so that it would be out of the pocket, but I didn't like the way that the trees fit on that page at that size, so I decided to just put it in the pocket instead and trim it down to 6, which takes an inch off the width and really helps the way that this page looks visually. So you can see I'm struggling a little bit with where to place my photo, especially since I have that extra inch on there. So I decided to go with it right here, and I'm just taking my liquid glue and adhering the top trees down a little bit. I let the adhesive on the back of my photo adhere the majority of the trees, but you know, there's some around the edges that need a little bit extra glue. And then I decide that, well, I'm going to add this tongue-in-cheek title, and then I decide that I still have all that extra on the outside edge that's really bothering me, so I decided to make it part of the design, and I'm tearing this down the side, and then I'm going to use that same white star paper that I used to back my photo, and I'm just going to create a outside edge, you know, white outside edge. And I really like the way that that balances out that page, and it gives you a little bit more white like the white on the title side. So that really worked for me. Need to trim this down, and then one more thing I'm going to add to this page, because I felt like it wasn't quite done, and I didn't really want to add any words because, or any, you know, journaling, because I knew that, you know, that basically told the whole story about the cats getting in the tree. So I decided to bring in some gold because I felt like I needed to warm this up just a little bit. So I got these gold puffy stickers. I had 2 sets of these stickers, so I had lots and lots of gold stars that I could work with. And then, yeah, that was it for this page. I love it. I love the way it tells 2 stories that are similar. You know, they're about the animals, but I got 2 stories on one page for day 21. But if you enjoyed this video, I'd love it if you give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you. If you don't already, you can follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Traci M. Reed. I'd love to see you there as well. There's a link in the description box below to the blog post for this page if you're interested in the credits and the still images. And yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next time. All right. Thank you.